Hi everybody, I'm Coach Trina Lewis, and today I'll be meeting with Serenity from proseandverbs.com. Well, check us out.
Mr. Gus and me are here at Ruby Jeans on 30th and Truth, and we have the beautiful Coach Trina.
Hi.
How are you doing, Trina?
I'm doing wonderful, Serenity. How are you?
Good.
Good.
I remember when I met you initially at a conference a little while ago, and I just remember that she was a very poignant speaker, and I was like, I have to interview her. So she hails from Kansas City, but she currently lives in LA. Why don't you give people just a little bit of background of what you do?
Well, currently I am a motivational speaker, a personal trainer, life coach, and I speak one-on-one with individuals, coaching and counseling sessions. I also work with groups and couples, and I speak all over the country. So I speak about health and wellness, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical health and well-being. Well, I know it's kind of trending. It's kind of trending. You can get a life coach certificate over the weekend. But I actually went to grad school a few years back and achieved my master's in spiritual psychology. So psychology with an emphasis in spirituality. So I worked in the health and wellness industry for about 15 years as a personal trainer, as a dance choreographer. I've owned my own dance studio. I've done a lot of things under the umbrella of health and wellness. But what I realized is people would continue to go back to their old habits. It wasn't because they didn't know how to eat. It wasn't because they didn't have the exercise plans. It was really more about something else holding them back and taking them back into their old patterns. So when I wanted to seek more information, more skills, more tools in understanding like the human mind, like why is it that this person keeps coming to the gym, keeps getting the training, and then after 3 months, 6 months, a year later, you follow back up with them and they've hit their old weight or their old patterns again. So going through graduate school and mastering just the human mind led me to understand that sometimes people were eating because of emotional issues. Maybe that was their escape. Maybe they were suppressing feelings. And so I just think that made me a stronger personal trainer in that I understood the mental and the emotional struggles that people go through. So it's not always about what you eat and how much you exercise. Learned that over the years, people really started responding to you asking about what's happening at home, what's happening in your relationships. You know, why is it that you can't get up out of bed? What's happening with your energy level? And so I just learned that working out, moving your body, and talking about some of those personal issues became more of like a whole person training as opposed to just the physical. Well, at the time, back in 2000, I'm dating myself, back in 2000, I was, sort of like a local celebrity model, sought after person, and eventually transitioned into working for a model and talent agency. So I was kind of doing both, even though I had a certain business background. I just really loved the performing arts, and I loved the movement that was happening in the city at that time. And so it progressed me to having a position at a model and talent agency and going all over the country to the larger markets. How you see this is an everyday, all-day thing in New York, in Miami, in LA. And so it was just a natural progression to take my career to the next level. And even out there, I did a couple of television and movie type of opportunities. So just, being open to the miracles of life, whatever opportunities landed, small town girl, sort of maximizing the opportunities here. And Los Angeles called me there. Well, I like to come back to Kansas City as much as possible. As you mentioned earlier, last year I came and spoke at a Phenomenal Women's Conference, which I absolutely have a passion for working with women and empowering women. And I had an opportunity to speak to probably about 100 people 80 to 100 people attended that event. And from there, booked a lot of other opportunities within the city and outside of the city. And what I wanted to come back and visit this time was to sit down, take the opportunity to sit down with different nonprofits in the area, whether it's talking to women who have new businesses and maybe they've hit a block, maybe they feel limited and need some support with their next steps. And particularly, I met with a woman who is rehabbing properties for single women with children to get back on their feet, and another was working to transition housing into a group home. So I've been working with those two, as well as just some give back projects and passion projects, I call it, working with a family member who's disabled and getting back out independently on her own and needs some support, furnishing her apartment, and just really gathering and bringing community together to just rally for these three women. So that's something that's important to me, is empowering women. And when I say empowering women, it's not just like a hashtag, it's really about what do you need to get healthier, to be happier, to feel whole, to make a contribution to our community, to make a contribution to your family, and to just move forward. So that's really what I'm passionate about, and why I keep coming back home is because I want to bring back knowledge, I want to bring back experiences, I want to bring back skills and tools to just really uplift my community. Yeah, there's so much to share, and I would say the first thing that comes to mind is my muse, Oprah Winfrey, when she said something of the nature regarding speaking your truth. And I feel like that weaves it all together. That weaves life coaching together, that weaves like where we are in this country right now, just having that opportunity to speak up and speak out. Like if you see something that's not right, speak up, speak out. Where, you know, in the past we may have had these old beliefs, these misbeliefs that in order to keep a job we had to be quiet. You know, in order to make our, you know, masculine male superior feel comfortable, we had to dumb it down. And so, you know, in the past there may have been ways that as women we made others feel comfortable and then our voices were not heard. And so I feel like this is a great opportunity with so many things that are coming to light, where people are speaking, even in Hollywood, you know, in Hollywood, about the mistreatment of women, in the industry, and things that perhaps in the past you had to do to play the game to get an opportunity. And so that is close to my heart, because I moved here from Kansas City back in 2000 to Los Angeles, and it was a different game. You know, there were different rules that you had to play by to get your toe in the door, to get your foot in the industry. And so there are a lot of things that I witnessed and a lot of things that happened to me. And I'm just so fortunate that I took a different path. And now a lot of people that I worked with and met when I first moved to Los Angeles in the entertainment industry have come forward and so courageously shared their truth. So I think this is a great opportunity for women to, I'm not going to say, you know, let all the secrets come out, but it's an opportunity for healing on so many levels.
I was about to say, as far as like your mental health, I mean, the coming forward and speaking your truth, as you said, like that all comes together into your overall health.
Yeah. Whether it was 5 years ago, 15 years ago, if it's something that's weighing on your heart and causing, you know, some sort of, you know, mental anguish. And again, that impacts the body, that impacts relationship, that impacts so many things. So as a whole person, speak your truth, share it in love as best you can. And then if you need to get help, get help. But as we go back to speaking about empowering women, I also like to empower women to start their own businesses. Okay. You know, I like to empower women to speak up about equal pay. I like to empower women to go back to whatever it takes to just clear up family dysfunction, you know, old family patterns. because it all fits together. It all comes together. Yeah. Once we empower ourselves, our children are empowered, our relationships are better, the way we contribute to the world is better, our health is better.
Right.
And so, 100% about empowering women.
So some of you guys can hear in the background, we got the blenders going, people talking. Why Ruby Jeans? Like, tell us about why? Because when we talk, it's like, let's do that. So let's talk about why this location.
Okay, so you're hearing the noise in the background because this is a place where I feel at home.
Okay.
I really do. I came back to Kansas City for an event a little over a year ago, and my brother mentioned, you know what, Trina, you're probably going to like this place down on 30th and Truce. Now, we're way out at the airport is where I stay when I come to town. And so I thought, you know what, if this place is, he said, this is totally you. You know, your yoga, your fruits and vegetables, your juicing, your detoxing, your cleansing. This is totally you. And I'm like, okay, well, what is this new restaurant in the middle of the city?
Right.
Where there's typically, just in my upbringing, I have to say that too, Serenity. I grew up here.
It's considered to be a food desert.
I grew up here, and this was a food desert. And for many years, coming back to visit, I would compare, Los Angeles to Kansas City and say, wow, on every other corner,
there's a grocery store.
There's a grocery store. There's a farmer's market. There's a Whole Foods, a Trader Joe's. Like, there's places, even just little mom and pop spots where you can get fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, wraps, sandwiches, vegetarian, pescatarian, gluten-free. Like, you can get whatever you need to take care of your body. It's just so easy. And that's what I find is that, in certain cities, it's just easier rather than going to the corner store, the dollar store, or, fast food. It's easier. You've got options that are available and that are affordable. And so we came to Ruby Jeans because I felt like I just felt home here. I can get a great breakfast here.
Right.
I can get my fruits and vegetables, my juice, my detoxing, my cleansing. And I also wanted to highlight what growth is happening in the city. And I feel like there's not a lot around here, but I want to encourage people to stop in and try a green juice. Like, I want to quickly talk about the benefits. Myself, I go on my juicing kicks and my cleansing kicks, sometimes for a whole week, sometimes for a whole month, but afterwards I just feel so much better.
Right.
I feel so much better. So for people who feel like sluggish, you need an energy boost, you can't get out of bed, sometimes it's because we're eating the wrong things.
Right.
Lots of sugar, lots of fat, lots of processed foods. And when we eat colorful, live, raw, real.
And pork. So that's something I'm going to completely step away from both of them, but I have noticed the difference is a little lighter.
Have you?
Yeah.
So what are some things that people are saying? Are people noticing the difference? Are you noticing the difference? Physically, energetically?
As far as I wouldn't say I lost weight or anything, but I noticed the difference physically in how I feel. I don't feel as weighed down. And then, like I said, I'm eating lighter. So it kind of, because I was having issues with my digestion.
Yes.
And I definitely am noticing it.
And a lot of women do. For some reason, not men, but women often have a hard time with digestion. So typically it comes from all the white things that we eat, the rice, the bread, the cakes, those kinds of things, and the processed food. So when you have your fruits and vegetables, some of the best compliments that I've received, besides knowing myself, my skin looks good, I'm lighter on my feet, I can teach more exercise classes, I can get out of bed easier, I think clearer, I go to the bathroom more regularly. So besides that, some of the best compliments I've gotten are people going, the whites in your eye are just so white. The whites in your eye are so white, and your skin is glowing. Which your skin is glowing, actually.
I don't want to, braggadocious, but I usually don't have a lot of issues with my skin. I can tell a difference in my skin as well.
Right.
Since I've changed over,
Right. And then sometimes people say, well, when you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and you cut out the meat, you cut out the protein as a personal trainer, is that a healthy balance? Is that a healthy thing? And the thing is, you can have, plant-based protein.
Right.
And that still satisfies the body. And I like to have an 80-20 rule, and people are typically like really quick to say, well, I don't do this often, or I sometimes do this, or blah, 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 when it comes to like food and exercise. So what I tell people is, if you could use the 80-20 rule, right? It's like 8 out of every 10 meals you're having mostly vegetables, and then the other 2 you're having your meats, your fish, your lean, turkey, chicken, things like that. Then that's a good balance.
So, how can people, if they want more information about life coaching, health and wellness, how can they get in contact with you?
Please, if you have any questions about life coaching, any opportunities for speaking engagements, right now I'm actually up for consideration for a television show, so yay.
Can you talk about that? I know
it's confidential, but it's a reality show, and we're shooting a pilot for it in a few weeks. It will be on a major network interview, but I hope to share more with you and more with your audience when I can speak about it legally. But if you have questions, have information, have opportunities, please email me at Coach Trina Lewis. That's Coach TRINALEWIS @gmail.com, and on all social media platforms at Coach Trina Lewis, whether it be Instagram or Facebook. Please do follow me. I like to give uplifting, inspiring information, encouraging information, sometimes great exercise tips, cooking tips, and just ways that you can apply skills and tools to enhance your life. So thank you for this interview. Thank you for this opportunity.
On this platform, we like to talk about people following a purpose and they feel like they're walking in their purpose. Like, would you say that what you're doing now with life coaching, health and wellness, is this something that you saw yourself doing?
Did I always see myself doing it? Yeah. It's interesting that you asked that question, because I've recently linked up with a friend that I went to high school with here in Kansas City, and we've just reconnected and strengthened an old relationship. We've strengthened our bond. And she said to me so many times recently, Trina, I always knew that you were going to be doing something like this. Like, even back in high school, 11th, 12th grade, you were always a leader, always a teacher, always well-spoken, and always seemed to just go that positive route. So back then, I never really quite knew what I was going to do with that. I thought I was going to work in corporate America, which I did for a short period of time. But really connecting with people, encouraging people, motivating people to live their best life in a healthier, really positive way. I feel like I am doing that. I'm living in that.
That's great.
I'm living in that.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks again for the interview.
Thank you.
I'm Serenity, right at your feet. And make sure you follow me as well on social media. That's Serenity, SERENITY_2_me.